Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Mardek, and there are a few other people that I think we might have forgotten to talk to in Gosnor here. So we'll do that, and then we'll head off and see where else we can explore, see what else is new. So I think Jared is one of those people. I'm trying to think of a good adventurer name for when I become an adventurer, which I will one of these days. Just you wait and see, Mardek and anyway, I'm thinking of maybe calling myself Amiable Dingo. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think? And it follows the trends, you know? Social fox, now this lone wolf fella. It seems only logical. Alright, Jared, maybe a little bit too soon. As for the bearded man, you know, I'm thinking about shaving off my glorious facial hair. What? But then, what'd be the point in living? Apparently, facial hair is the only way to go. But anyways, I'm pretty sure that is everyone, or very close to everyone, in Gosnor. So there are a few other places where I wanted us to check out. Now we could, theoretically, go to Soothwood. So I think there actually is one thing of note in here. That being that, although we've, of course, gone through all the chests in here long ago, we were hearing talk of how the shaman might actually have some useful information for us. So, we take a look here. You find that the shaman's hut, if I remember correctly, is along this path here. Assuming he's in the same place, which I think is still true, but may not be so anymore. These fun golems, I suppose we could gang up on them a little bit here if we really needed something. If we really needed something like our offensive reactions worked on. Obviously, they're not going to give us much in the way of experience or anything of that sort. So, for that reason, there isn't too much of a point to fighting them here, unless you really want to load up on goblin earwax, in which case, yeah, maybe we need to talk. But anyways, let's carry on in this direction. And I believe we will find the shaman's hut here. Is he still in here? He is. Hello there, young ones. What can I do for you today? What's up, shaman? Actually, I feel weakened. I sense that something has happened to disturb nature. The crystals. I feel that something threatens them, or that they are being used. No, shaman, I think you're right. Well, the dark crystal's been stolen. That is not a good thing. It explains my feelings. But the world is in danger. Balance is disrupted. Something must be done about this. You can almost see the shaman's eyes from behind his humongous eyebrows there. Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to stop the thief. I see. You were certainly capable of saving the world a few years ago, Mardek, so I trust that you can do the same thing this time. You are the protagonist, after all. What? What are you talking about, shaman? I can only move at the will of my unseen master. Mardek also breaking the fourth wall? Not sure Mardek knows any better. Surprised. Yes, now, is there anything else that you need? Raid Shaman Regents? Okay, don't know what the deal is there. Very well. If you have the ingredients that I want, then I shall give you some of mine in return. Oh, okay, so he has some crafting ingredients here. Acid seed, leaf of life, mugwort, and bitter leaf. Don't necessarily think we've seen much use for these yet. Some of them are actually somewhat expensive here. 600 apiece in this case. So, no immediate need for them, so maybe we pass on that. However, perhaps there's more. There were other questions we could ask him earlier. Hello there, young ones. What can I do for you today? Do you know where we can find any of those crystals? In the hands of a thief, where they do not belong, 'twould seem. And it is there that you should be looking for and finding crystals, my boy. For the others are sacred, and not to be disturbed. The balance of nature is offset enough. However, I sense that you have a plan, and I sense that you finding the crystals would be better for us all than the thief finding them. I will not tell you of the whereabouts of them all, just one, but this should be sufficient for now. I speak of the water crystal, which resides at the bottom of Lake Quirr. We did see a mysterious door somewhere in Lake Quirr back in Chapter 2. We tried to go and explore it earlier when we were with Emla and Dugan, but Emla seemed like she really didn't want us to go in that direction for whatever reason. Of course, you can't get there unless you can breathe underwater. Well, Emily used to be able to cast a spell that did that. Allowed you to breathe underwater? That is not a common spell. Quite a rare and potent one, in fact. There are few who can cast it. Well, can you? Not as such, but I do have the means to mimic the effect with a special shamanic brew. When you say mimic the effect, let's be clear here. You mean we are going to be able to breathe underwater, or we are not? That's kind of a yes or no type of thing, and I'm a little concerned about what might happen if you're not 100% confident in it. It must be made from rare ingredients, however, which I do not at the moment have. If you would like me to brew some of this mixture for you, to allow you to breathe beneath the waves of Lake Quirr, you must bring me the ingredients that I require, which are 4 water essences, 6 handfuls of fish scales, 1 bag of pixie dust, 1 serpent cress, and 1 aquamarine. Okay, I'm not sure we have much of those things other than maybe fish scales. I think the first time we were down in Lake Quirr, we did get that as a crafting item from some of those fish. Not sure we necessarily have 6, though. Everything else there, pretty sure we have 0 of. You will be able to find many of these ingredients in the southern city of Aeropolis, I would assume. It is a very large place, full of merchants. I shall add Aeropolis to your map, and the ingredients list to your quests. What? Our quests? Excuse me? Other ingredients may not be so readily available. You may need to venture into the wilds to find the rarer ones. It is unfortunate, but I cannot give you specific locations or directions in this regard. Go now, and I will begin researching the incantations necessary for enchanting the brew. Okay, so apparently he added them to our quest list. So now we have Shaman's Brew here, and it does list us all those ingredients. Unfortunately, we don't need to memorize them. And if and when we do find ourselves at that large overworld map, we can see where exactly Aeropolis is. However, we will find that it is actually, as we see here, this is where Aeropolis is, and as you probably could have guessed, it's the biggest city on the southern continent here. And it does, of course, mean that because we can't warp across to the southern continent right now, this is as far as we can go. At the moment, it is not accessible to us, but in the future, it should be. And then the crash site, if we check this out, it does seem like this changes every chapter. And, what the heck? Who are you guys? And what are you doing? Saucer cultists! Oh, fantastic. The signs! They are so obvious. First, this saucer, then the black saucer over Canonia. The second bigger, more deadly. We have upset the saucer gods and need to appease them, lest they destroy our world. Okay. Should we expect more of the same from your friends here? Did you know that there are tales, ancient tales, of saucers just like this one, and that black one dotting the skies, flying about as if at war? These saucers have been watching us since the dawn of time. They are probably our creators. Probably not. But okay. You do you, man. Just the other day, I was taken up into a saucer just like this one. Honest. I ascended out of my bed and in a beam of light and met with the saucer gods. They had big eyes and round heads. Honest. If he says honest, then it must be true, right? Actually, I realize this whole silly cult thing is just a load of tosh. Still, it's just a bit of fun, eh? Finally, somebody who makes sense. Just you wait and see, you doubters and skeptics. Before the end of the 8 chapters, the world will end, and then you'll see that we were right. I mean, there are theoretically 8 chapters, at least as Rohoff, or maybe it was another member of the GDM, once anticipated. And so, maybe this guy knows something we don't. I don't know. The end is coming. The end is coming! As for you, hear us, O saucer gods. We give ourselves up to you. Okay, and then this guy who appears to be in the middle, who might possibly be the leader of this group. Stop! Stop! When the world ends, this door will open, and the saucer gods will whisk us away to freedom. You cannot enter. Manfred, not just a generic cultist here. He is the leader, and well, he is blocking us from going in and checking out if we could still investigate the saucer further. Now, I'm kind of curious as to whether Rohoff or anyone else has anything to say about this area specifically. I don't know if it's going to be the case. It's such a small area that maybe they do, maybe they don't. Obviously, it's of particular significance to Rohoff especially. However, based on the music we're hearing here, it sounds like this is going to be a more generic check-in from Rohoff. Mardek, I've been noticing recently how you seem to be gathering quite a few allies together, and that you seem to be getting emotionally attached to them. I would recommend against this. What? But, okay. Discouraging us from making friends? I would think that you would approve of such a thing. Keep a working relationship with them, that's fine, and will help us greatly on our mission in the end. But just do not become emotionally attached to them. Okay. Purely business. That's how it is, huh? That just leaves open the possibility of emotional blackmail by your enemies. I am sure you have heard tales of a great hero surrendering to the villain some kind of doomsday device that he stole, or meant to destroy, just to save the petty, insignificant life of his friend who was held hostage. Yes, I suppose you do potentially have a case? I want to avoid such situations, if at all possible. We gain strength from remaining stoic in relationships with others, not from dependence or irrational emotional attachments. I mean, it's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. This is just my advice. Take it or leave it, but I'm telling you, you'll regret it if you think I'm wrong. That's also awfully threatening, Rohoff. Okay. Mildly concerning. Mildly concerning from Rohoff. So I think I was saying this a while ago, perhaps at the very beginning of Chapter 3, but pay close attention to the way in which Rohoff is interacting with Mardek and the rest of the party as well. Does he have anything else maybe that's more specific to this location, less so a general update? Yes, Mardek? You wish to speak to me? Well, I'm afraid I have nothing to say to you right now. Apparently not, though. And that might also be the case of other people then, unless they also have a generic update. Yes? So, why did you want to become a guard? Oh, well, Donovan wanted to, so I just sort of followed him, really. Well, how did you know Donovan before the guard? That's a good question. We were childhood friends. Oh, they go back. How did you meet? I can't remember. I was young. I think I met him back when I was in Aeropolis. Oh, so she's been there. Then again, when I moved to the north and recognized him, we became friends. Okay, sounds like you were originally from Aeropolis, and then ultimately, like you said, moved north here. Aeropolis? Oh, that's where I lived for a while. My mom is a priestess at the Temple of Air there now. She used to be an adventurer, so we traveled all over the place. Ooh, that's exciting. Oh, sounds fun. I suppose. Though, sometimes it was hard, because I never really got to know anyone or get familiar anywhere. How did your mom end up in Aeropolis yet you stayed in Cosnor? Oh, we lived together in the north at first. Then she got the job at the temple, and I didn't want to go because of, well, Donovan. So I joined the guard with him instead. Oh, I see. Well, that'll be all. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me, Mardek. Okay, so despite the fact that we didn't hear any specific music that was different from the typical music that you would normally hear in this location, it does seem like that might have been a general update from Charla. I'm not sure she has her own music, in which case, sorry, Charla. What about Donovan? Might be a similar story for you. And also, you understand why I was saying in the previous episode how, yeah, I don't necessarily think Mardek and Charla are a thing, given how it does appear as though there might be a bit of a relationship between Charla and Donovan. Yes, sir. I'm afraid I don't have anything useful to contribute at the moment. Verbally, at least. I can still let my spear and magic do the talking, when the need arises, however. Well, thank you, Donovan. As for Slinik, I don't much like idle conversation. Sorry, Slinik. Maybe not then. Okay, so let's head on over, and I think the place we want to go to next is we did hear, obviously, that there's potentially a water temple under Lake Quir, and we might even know where. However, we can't go in there at the moment because we no longer have Emla with the ability to give us that easy access to breathing underwater, and now we need to find a way to brew that potion. So let's maybe stop off at Canonia instead and see what is new here. Oh, I found out something nice about the elemental crystals the other day. Turns out that the shaman knows about them. Go ask her. The other shaman, you say? Well, last time we were in Canonia, yeah, there was a shaman, but things didn't go too well when we met her. You see, she may or may not have been a zombie, and we may or may not have fought her. This new grand adventurer, Lone Wolf, is yet another man. Gods, what a world this is. It should have been a woman. This game is just sexist. Next, there will be books about how women want to be dominated by men. What utter tripe. I'd beat any man in any arm-related contest. Then kick him in the groin while spitting in his face. We women can do that, you know. And I think there might have even been a book that we probably read at one point in Chapter 1 or Chapter 2 that described that, what she was saying earlier. I think it was the one about the elements and the relationships between people of different elements. But, oh my goodness, are these the Beardburt brothers all together? Finally, they've reunited. Brother Beardburt. My brother here beside me is a filthy, rotten liar. All he ever does is fib and deceive in order to lure people into yet more lies, which he lies about ever telling because he's a liar. Makes me sick. Okay, maybe you guys need a little bit of time to warm up to one another, but I'm sure you'll eventually get over your differences. My dear brother beside me here is the most honest person I know. He can't bend the truth even if he tries. It's almost as if, to him, the truth is some giant metal bar, and he doesn't have the muscle strength to bend it. You know? You can be sure that everything he says is completely true. Okay, as for the third one, I think that the new shaman is hot. Okay, so I suppose at least that's good news that it is not the same shaman that we fought previously, resurrected once more. That would probably be an issue. That lone wolf chap came gallivanting through here the other day. I saw him up close. He had this amazing helmet shaped like a wolf's head and spectacular emerald-hued armor. He was really quiet and brooding and didn't speak to anyone. Just listened to their problems and solved them, not even requesting a reward. It was sort of disconcerting, though. I mean, he was obviously a good man, doing what he did for the good of others, but he just seemed so soulless, like something had broken him in his past, and he was trying to detach himself from who he was, to live a lie. Something about him even reminded me of those zombies from a few years ago. Huh. Okay. More information about this lone wolf guy, and in the past it was all pretty positive. That time, though, not so much the case. Now, once upon a time, back in Chapter 2, we were reporting to you to get some information about what we ought to do in Canonia, help with the shaman, but this time round, what do you have to say to us?
Oh, hello there, Sir Mardek of Gosnor. I'm not sure what you're doing here, since I have nothing to give or tell you, but good luck on your missions nonetheless, whatever they are.
And there you have it. Not much to tell us. However, there will be more people here, of course, including Fredley. I heard the King of Gosnor has been acting weird lately. I hope that he's not possessed by some kind of demon. Or the Archfiend, Cagnazo. That would be too predictable. You're right, Fredley. Surely, that can't be the case. And here, I believe, we have Wifetta. Sir Mardek, a pleasure to see you. And Wifetta was, or I suppose still is, Gloria's mother. Gloria, of course, Elwian's friend, back from Chapter 2. Elwian, of course, being the person whose parents we tried to turn into not icicles when we went into Lake Quirr, but ultimately we weren't so successful, and so these two adopted Elwian. Elwian talks about you a lot when you're gone, you know. She really misses you. She often goes to Lake Quirr just to be alone, and probably to think of you, her knight in shining armor. It would be really nice of you to go speak to her, I'd say. Hopefully it would cheer her up. She's been so downcast lately. Without Gloria busying herself with her new shaman duties. Ah, Gloria is the shaman. Okay, interesting. Ellie doesn't really have anyone to talk to most of the time. She gets so lonely. We keep advising her to perhaps get a job to occupy her, but she insists that she's waiting to go adventuring instead. With you, Sir Mardek.
Oh,
Okay. I suppose, didn't she want to join us back in Chapter 2? And we had to say, no, you are kind of still a child, so please, stay safe. Leave the adventuring to us pros. I suppose it is a few years later now, though, so maybe the time would be right now. And as for your husband, Husbert.
Oh, hello there, Sir Mardek. Are you looking for Elwian? She's not here, I'm afraid. She, went off for a walk. So, she's probably out at Lake Quirr again, just looking out over the waters. She's been so solemn lately, but it's understandable. Maybe you should go and see her. That'd cheer her up. But I think she'd appreciate if you went alone, just you, because that way, it would be you seeing her as a friend, rather than you seeing her while on the job, and she might open up more if there's just the two of you.
Interesting. Okay, probably wouldn't have thought of that before. But I suppose that is an option. So, sounds like she's likely at Lake Quirr, and that's probably a reason for us to head over there, even if we can't necessarily go into Lake Quirr yet. But there are definitely still more people for us to talk to here in Canonia. I know where the elemental crystals are. All of them. Oh? That would be very helpful if you could give us that information. I've seen them, too, back when I was an adventurer. But I'm not telling a whippersnapper like you anything. What have you ever done for this place? Probably not, except loitering around outside shops and eating mushrooms. Well, I saved the world last chapter. I don't care. Who hasn't saved the world? You're lying. Go away. Sorry. Maybe we just won't save the world next time. Heard there's a new shaman in town. Heard the old one died. Sounds arousing. Excuse me? Okay. Other than that, the Beardburt brothers, or at least some of them, were previously over here. However, they are, of course, now together over here. So no one to talk to there. We do still have the shops. And I'm not necessarily sure we're going to see much new here. So, nothing particularly of note, but if we felt the need to pick up some more potions and whatnot, then we could do it there. And as for the accessories and weapons, same deal here. I suppose if we really wanted to, we could sell some stuff that maybe we started to accumulate, but that's not something that I would say is a very high priority. As for you, do you have anything else to say if you would stand still? This shop hasn't updated its wares in years. There's no point in visiting this chapter at all. I suppose you're right, as we just noticed. However, maybe the inn will have something new.
Oh, if it isn't Sir Bloody Mardek of Gosnor, our bloody damn hero who just saved all our lives from that dark cloud of death and undeath. We're all so bloody thankful to you, but I'm still not going to serve you. Get out of me bleeding face. What did we ever do to him? Sorry.
I mean, we did hire Zach directly in front of you when you were kind of telling us that that probably wasn't a good idea and everyone was terrified of him.
Are you really holding that against us, though?
After that big black cloud fell out of the sky, it just sort of dissolved into little tiny bits of what looked like sand, then evaporated into thin air. A lot of stuff which didn't dissolve fell out into Lake Quirr, I think. Maybe it's still there at the bottom.
Okay. Maybe that's another reason to check out Lake Quirr.
It used to be a right sausage fest in here back in Chapter 2, but it's not anymore, as things have changed. Because that's what things do. Change. Except if you are any of the shops in Canonia, in which case you stay exactly the same. When that cloud went away, the zombies just all sort of shuffled off and went back to their graves. It was sort of weird. We didn't really need to do any cleaning up at all, and life was back to normal within a day or two. Nothing interesting has happened since then. Oh, Canonia, such a quiet town. And another one of the saucer people? Repent, ye sinners, for we have fallen out of grace with the gods of the saucers. The signs are clear. They have been here, not once, not thrice, but twice. The white saucer that fell near Gosnor, the black cloud that hovered over Canonia, yin and yang, light and day. These are the signs of the coming end times. Repent! Get ready to welcome and worship our new sorcery masters. Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Also, I suppose in some ways that would sort of kind of make Rohoff one of your gods, so maybe that is actually interesting, come to think of it. This man is clearly a nutjob. A whole cult of these wackos has formed after that incident with the cloud a few years ago. They all hang around near that fallen star near Gosnor, chanting and such. Loonies, I tell ya. You might be right. Oh no! Oh no! I don't want the end of times to come. I like the world. If the world were taken over by saucer gods, then they might, ask us to worship them. That'd be inconvenient. Ah! Or maybe they just kill me because one time I accidentally broke a saucer. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. The mug of tea was just so hot and I dropped it. Spare me. It's okay, Bird. It'll be okay. Flying saucer people, either they aren't real or we're one of the two and the other one is now deceased, so don't worry about it. Another bird? What? All of your names are bird? Who do you, think you are? Guy? Wearing that fancy pants armor like that? Walking in the footsteps of that Mardek guy who, saved this place all those years ago? Pretender. Wannabe. Interesting. Not a big fan of ours. She is dark elemental. I wonder if that has anything to do with how she's not so friendly. As for your friend, I heard that there's a theater thing in Aeropolis on the southern continent where performers put on entertaining plays. Interestingly, they're doing a play about the incident with that cloud thing from a few years ago. Canonia will be mentioned in the play. Wow. I'd go and see it, but I don't really want to. Okay, so what you're saying is you don't want to go and see it, so you won't go and see it. Alright, and then other than that, there are a few more houses here. These two. Cap's wife. I am his wife! Okay. I have a wife now! Now, maybe my memory's a little spotty here, but was this the room where there were previously about 10 of these guys and one woman? Now, they got married? I don't know. Maybe that was... No, that was this one. That was this one.
Elemental crystals? Yes, we've got some of those in here, I think. Check the bookshelf over there. They're on there. You sure about that? Something tells me there's only one of the 4 crystals there. Oh, wow! It's Sir Mardek the Magnificent! That's what I call you, you know, the Magnificent. I fantasize about you a lot. Can I run my dirty fingers softly along your pearly teeth? Absolutely not. Stay away. There's a girl in this village called Elwian who I find deeply attractive, and I'm in love with, but I am far too shy to tell her. She seems to have her mind set on some dopey idiot knight anyway, who I hate. Makes me very bitter. Okay, let's maybe just also keep our distance from that guy too. I've been sleeping for several years. I must be in a coma. Fetch the shaman. I don't think that's how that works. I muchly prefer this new shaman. She's better looking than the old one, and we all know that the only important trait of a female is looks. Not true. She also has a sort of bitter and, at times, sarcastic nature that I find appealing. So yeah, I would say, as is often the case with these characters here, the game is, I would like to believe, self-aware of all these things that it's saying, and knows that they're pretty ridiculous claims, in case that's not clear. I joined the Saucer Brothers! Wait, were you previously one of the other totally, well, I was gonna say totally normal people in this room? Maybe there are very few of those people, but you may have now become the most crazy of all of them. I've joined the Saucer Brothers! I will be the first chosen by the Saucer Gods when they come to conquer the world, which I bet would happen in 2 or 3 chapters from now. Again with these Saucer cultists. Predicted in the future, and I don't know, they're making me nervous. Makes me feel like one of those predictions, if not more, might ultimately end up being right. I bet the shaman knows loads about the elemental crystals, and the Gosnor shaman too. Though, our shaman is better. That's very rude. I would rather lick my own finger than let you look at this bookshelf. You're not doing it. I won't let you. But there's the elemental crystals. How are we supposed to get them? Mission failed. No! We'll be fine. We'll find them. You may be wondering about the relationships between the people in this house. Are we siblings? Are they my sons? Are we in a strange marriage type thing where I'm the one wife with several husbands? Is this some kind of clubhouse and I'm the only female member? Don't know. I mean, that part's probably true based on how, yeah, there are, what, about 8 guys and 1 girl? I saw a fairy when I was in the Lifewood. Its glow made me smile. Okay, I don't really know if you are going crazy, or if that's true. There's a creepy bloke who lives in the Canonia Woods somewhere. Comes up to the village sometimes, usually to buy really weird items like dead badgers and just glares smugly at people. Hard as that might be to picture. No, that's actually surprisingly creating a pretty vivid image. Unfortunately, he has deathly pale skin, and this eerie green tattoo scrawled all over his pasty face. I heard him talking to himself once, as if he were narrating his life as a character in some book or something. It sounded like one of those terrible, pretentious writers of fanfiction or something. Hey, you know the ones. People sell dead badgers? I'm with you, Donovan. What? Then if we head on over to what was previously a place that Canonia used as the zombie-proof cave, we will actually find that it's Gloria. Oh, hello there, Mardek. Fancy seeing you here. It's been a while. That it has. Ellie's been talking about you a lot, you know. You should probably go and talk to her if you haven't already. We haven't, but definitely on our list. But if you do, I'd suggest you go alone. Yeah, that's what your parents were saying. You know how much she gets bothered when she sees you with other people. That silly girl. Yeah, that's a little concerning. You can probably find her at Lake Quirr. She's been spending a lot of time there. Just sitting near the crystal statues of her dead parents. Yeah, no, you guys might want to do something about that. You know, give her a little bit of variety, give her something to talk to. That doesn't sound healthy. It's actually really, really creepy.
but I suppose she's just mentally disturbed. Yeah, like that's typically a sign that you should try to help someone out. Did you come for me for some specific reason, though? I mean, we were mostly checking out the area, and we did hear a lot about how you have apparently become the new shaman, and supposedly that means that you might have knowledge of some of the crystals, the elemental crystals. But first and foremost, how you been? It's nice of you to ask, Mardek. I've been doing alright, actually. Turns out that I was always destined to be the next shaman of Canonia, as you know, so when the other one died, bless her, I had to take her place. It's all coming really naturally to me, and yes, that was a pun, but you might not get it, and it's really fun, and I'm glad to be helping the people like I've always wanted to. Not that they really need much help around here. There's not been any bother at all since that incident with the cloud thing. Which you did an amazing job of saving us from, I might add, Sir Knight. I feel proud to know you.
Well, thank you, Gloria.
Do you need anything else?
Yeah, like I was saying, we've heard word that you might have knowledge about the elemental crystals.
I do. It's my duty as shaman to know these things. However, it is secret knowledge that I won't share with you casually.
Okay, but like, it's kinda important? Oh, okay, but there's no way to convince you? Alright. Maybe later then.
See you, Sir Mardek.
Okay, and anything else here?
It's a magic cauldron where Gloria makes magical brews out of various regins.
Okay. Another saved crystal here, and once upon a time, there were chests in here. We have technically acquired them though, so it seems like there's nothing for us to take here. And with that, I think this is probably a good place for us to wrap up here. We did, of course, hear a lot about how there's a lot going on at Lake Quer, including, first and foremost, that Elwian is there, and she maybe could use a chat and would like to speak to just Mardek. And maybe there's some other things remaining from the crash, or whatever debris there might be from what happened to Morik's battleship back from Chapter 2. So we'll have to check that out next time, and I'll see you then.